Coworker from hell tried to get me to give him a ride, so I blew out of the parking lot without him. I worked at a hardware supply warehouse out past the edge of town, the kind of place where the sidewalks just stop and the highway takes over. No bus route came anywhere close. If you didn't have a car, you were stuck. That's how I ended up dealing with Colton. He'd started about 8 months before me, 27 years old, and within a week I understood why half the women on shift dreaded seeing his name on the schedule. He never called anyone by their name. It was always, "Hey girl, go grab me a pallet jack," or "Girl, ring this up, I'm on break." If they said no, he'd stomp around the break room slamming lockers and cussing loud enough customers up front could probably hear him. I watched him do it to Priya over a stack of paint cans he was too lazy to carry himself. I watched him do it to Nadia because she wouldn't laugh at some comment he made about her jeans. He hit on anyone with a pulse, didn't matter if they were dating someone, didn't matter if they told him to knock it off. Management knew, everybody knew. Doug, our shift manager, would pull Colton into the office, say something quiet, and nothing changed. Colton's actual work was garbage too. Miscounted shipments, missing paperwork, stuff that should have gotten anyone else fired. He never got touched for any of it. I told the women I worked with, straight up, if he starts something, come get me. I couldn't stand watching him talk to them like they worked for him personally, instead of the other way around. Around that same stretch, I heard Colton didn't have a car anymore. He'd wrecked his last one and never bothered replacing it. He started cornering people in the parking lot at the end of shifts, guilt-tripping whoever looked like they might cave and drive him home. He never asked me, not until one night in July, closing shift. Just me, him, and Doug left in the building, and Doug was still doing the final walkthrough when Colton caught me clocking out. "You're taking me home," he said. Not a question. I told him no. He didn't like that. He followed me out the back door, voice climbing with every step. The lot back there had no lights past the loading dock, and the one street lamp near the fence was half burnt out. I got to my car, unlocked it, dropped in, and had the door shut and locked before he reached me. He grabbed the handle anyway, started pounding on the glass with the flat of his hand, yelling that I better take him home, that I couldn't just leave him standing there. Midnight, empty lot, no security guard, no other cars, nobody around to see any of it. I had no clue what he'd try next, whether he'd yank the handle again or try to jump in front of my bumper. A grown man losing it in a dark parking lot at midnight isn't something you stick around to reason with. I threw it in reverse and got out. In my mirror, I caught Doug's headlights already turning onto the highway ahead of me, oblivious to the whole thing. Colton stood there alone under that dead street lamp, still shouting, getting smaller and smaller until I turned out of the lot. I didn't feel one bit guilty. That town doesn't have a sidewalk connecting anything, let alone a bus that runs past 10. No rideshare driver wants to come out that far for one fare. But he was 27, not 12, and his transportation was his problem, not mine, especially not after he tried to scare me into fixing it for him. Turned out the loading dock camera caught a sliver of that corner of the lot, enough to show a man pounding on a car window at midnight while the driver tried to pull away. Doug pulled the footage 2 days later after I told him what happened, mostly to cover himself in case Colton complained about me leaving him stranded. Instead, that clip did what 8 months of complaints from every woman on shift couldn't. Colton got a final write-up for aggressive conduct toward a coworker, the first thing that actually stuck to him. He limped into his next shift almost an hour late, hair still wet, wouldn't look at me once the whole night. Word got around fast why he'd had to walk. Nobody offered to drive him after that either. He never asked me for a ride again. He never asked anyone.